Hello to everyone out there. My name is Keith. This, of course, is the Startup Sales Mastery video podcast. We are live. And again, we are cheating the timeline because this was supposed to be Financial Friday. And I have a podcast later on tonight. I'm going to start doing some sales campaign. Well, I've already started, but I'm going to basically invite you guys to come on that journey with me. So I had to finish this right here, right now. The last week was just crazy busy, but the show must go on. So how to charge your customers, that is the topic for today. I have a few minutes. Let's get on with the show. And of course, for any of you joining us for the first time, Startup Sales Mastery video podcast is all about us sales professionals sharing everything we know with you early stage tech entrepreneurs or mid stage tech entrepreneurs or other entrepreneurs that just want to come and join the party, what we do, how we do, and today is charging customers. So I mentioned that I was going to touch, excuse me. Ooh, there we go. That I was going to touch on, Stripe, merchants, PayPal, all that kind of stuff. Look, at the end of the day, when we're talking about charging people, it's not really that big a deal. I mean, from what 1.4% is kind of the lowest you're going to get, right on up to 2.93% with the likes of Stripe and PayPal versus going with cheaper merchants. 1.4. It doesn't really mean that much at the end of the day, unless we're actually going to go into the higher ticket stuff where it starts to add up. And quite frankly, if we're going into the higher ticket stuff, you should just be doing bank transfers, more direct means. But I think it's kind of important when we're talking about charging people that get the money. You pay a bit more, who cares? An extra $10, $20 isn't going to kill us. Get the sale. When I talk about how to charge customers, I'm really talking about the psychology in play, how to set the prices for your subscriptions, for your products, for things like that. And it's a really simple formula. It's not going to take me that long. The formula is this: how much is it actually worth to them? That is the answer. Now, all this week, and I say this week even though it's been spread out through 2.5 weeks, but this week, as it were, the most valuable customer, how do we choose them? That's really the thing. Who's in the most amount of pain, and how valuable is that pain for you to solve? That's really the question it comes down to. So you have to look at your ideal customer, your ICP, in order to answer this question. People come to me and say, well, my solution is worth this, it does that. And please, if you're in any doubt, look at the last few podcasts that I did, because customers couldn't care less about your product. And that is the whole point of this entire week. I'm trying to get it across that people just don't care. Excuse me, my throat is dry. They really don't care. And even when it comes to actually charging, they don't care. It doesn't actually matter what you're doing if that's the pricing strategy that you're coming up with. And too many people do that. And it's kind of ridiculous. They go, oh, well, we should do a base charge for this, and then a per item charge for that, and a per this. And you make it this whole big complex thing. And for the love of God, guys, look at the solution that you're solving. Step into the world of your customer, because that's really how you want to come across and answer this particular question. I said it to someone before, in a high ticket item, they're like, how do I charge? Well, what's it worth to them? What's the value? Well, I don't know. Well, shit, man, you want to go find this out first, because that's how you know what to charge. Of course, the famous story from me personally, I used to work back in the day at WalkMe. And WalkMe started selling, I think it was a SaaS subscription. They help platforms, with the little bubbles on the screen. Click here, go there, scroll there, do this guidance engagement platform, they call it. And it was what, a $15, $20 a month package, a small, medium enterprise package. And in comes a big heavy hitter, totally transforms the whole thing. Went after enterprise companies. And of course, he was charging what, 15, 20, $100,000 packages for the same software, 12 months later. Why? Because he knew the value of what it was he was solving. He knew that their pain was into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he knew that he could charge more in order to solve that pain. This is the whole point. We have more coffee and more water. Thank you, sir. It is a very busy day of campaigning at the office. So yes, again, forget about your product, forget about what you've put into it, what you've actually, what you think it's worth because you've done this and you say this. These things don't matter. I'm serious. They really, truly do not matter. You've got to look at your customer. If you don't look at your customer, you're either going to undervalue it or you're going to overvalue it. But I'll tell you something, in both of those scenarios, you've screwed yourself and your customer. You want to hit that nail on the head. You've got to hit it. The basic rule of thumb, give or take, is 20% of your savings. That I know is what the marketing guys do. Sales, typically, they tell me what my price ranges are. So it's not something I actually have to come up with. But when I do, from a negotiation perspective, I use a tool called anchoring, which is in the negotiation handbook. It's not the sales handbook, which are completely different skills, where I'll set the ball up here. It's something that somebody told me to do. So if I know that the price is going to be, $10,000, I'll turn around and I'll say, Mr. Prospect, normally we charge $25,000 for these packages. Now I know that's going to be a little bit high after we've spoken on your budget, blah, 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 and I'll let them negotiate me down, but I cannot do that. Okay. I cannot do that unless I know that the problem that my solution is able to solve is worth at least 30,000. If I'm solving a $30,000 problem, I can get away with charging 10 grand for it. It's as simple as that. Most people would think, greedy people, I'm sorry, but you're greedy people, that, ooh, well, then it should be 15 halfway. But you remember, you want to close it. Yes, you can get away with charging 15, even 20 on a 30,000 saving solution. But typically, you want to give them the best possible deal. And the way you do that, of course, is, let them negotiate you down. But you need to know that you're solving, $30,000 worth of pain in that scenario. Again, WalkMe, they knew perfectly well they were solving that amount of pain. Mostly it was internal. So if we look at an internal company on, let's say they change something in their CRM, how costly is that for a big corporation to, manage that? How costly is it for a big corporation that may have 20,000 employees to, onboard, I don't know, 10, 20 new staff a month? Well, in terms of human capital and trainers and all those things, this is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's usually a few people employed full time, a whole team of people employed full time to get the job done. And all of a sudden, this guy's coming in saying, yeah, tell you what, a little subscription service, analytics all covered. It'll get done automatically. They'll turn up for the first day of work and everything will be solved. Boom. 500,000 suddenly comes down to 120,000 per year for two people. So yes, he could easily get away with charging, $100,000 for that particular solution, even though the same solution was being sold for $20 a month. And that's how this works. It does not work based on, your interpretation of the solution, your value on the solution. It works in terms of your customers' evaluation on the solution. Hence, this entire week, people think it's, your customer persona. No, I've done customer persona before. This is not customer persona week. This is the how to choose customer persona, which is the why behind the whole thing. I've been saying that all week, 2.5 weeks, but week. And that's it. If you're going to choose a low value customer, yeah, you got to charge low value ticket. If you're choosing a high value customer, you get to choose high value. It's really that simple. Who is your customer? Well, we sell to everyone. Great, you're selling to no one. Whoop-de-doo. Move on. You're going out of business because one of your ICPs, you're going to try and sell it too high and they won't buy. And another ICP, you'll try and sell it too low and maybe they'll buy, but then of course they're going to be on your case because they're going to want more and more and more and more when you probably could have charged 2-3 times the amount, and the whole thing falls apart. This is where the clarity of having one ideal customer profile plus having an accurate understanding of that customer profile, what value is your solution to them, coming into play. This is Financial Friday. I'm not going through the previous wise. You can look at the previous podcast on that. This is purely on the financial end of things. How do we charge? This is how we charge. Now, we can charge by, click button and go to the next, or we can charge by having a conversation and, more high ticket stuff. In both of those scenarios, I'm going to do the value ladder. When you're clicking, on screen, even if you're giving them 1 month free trial, the marketing guys, they talk about value ladder, they talk about creating that offer and each component of that offer equaling a certain amount. This costs this much, this costs this much, but today only we're giving you this whole thing at the reduced price of 90% off. Here, take it at this price. And that value offering is what's going to do the close. And it's the same thing on a high ticket. I'm going to speak to these guys and I'm going to say, look, how much is this costing you? How much is that problem costing you? What is, uh, what's going on underneath? So as a result of this, you can't spend 2 hours with your kids tucking them in every night. Wow, what do you think that's worth? And yes, you can put a number on these things. People are prepared to pay for that kind of stuff. And that's the evaluation phase. So let's conclude it. Let's bring it to a close because I've gone over the 10-minute marker. How do you know how much to charge for your item? Real simple. Ask your customers what it's worth to them. Okay, this is the simple answer. If you have not done this exercise and you're just randomly charging, I mean, you don't really have a business, to be fair. You need to know the value of what it is to them. And then typically, again, there's so much rule of thumb on this. I know a lot of the marketing guys that want to go for high quantity will come in at 10% of that value. Other guys will push right towards 40, 50%. Me personally, I think 20, 30% is give or take the right number to hit, but you definitely want to hit somewhere along that lines of what it is worth to them. As long as they know, and again, this is why you need to get into their head, as long as they know and agree that this is what it's costing them right now, and you're giving them a valuation of, well, I can cut that down to this. It should be an easy decision for them to make. If you're talking about your interpretation, we have this feature, that doesn't mean anything to them. But if you turn it into their perspective, well, we solve this problem, which means now you can go home and see your kids. We solve this problem, which means you no longer need to spend 60,000 on a financial advisor to audit your company. We solve this problem, which means that now you have an extra parking space close to the office. You don't need to, I don't know, take the bus. Whatever that value offering is, you need to make it clear that you're solving that problem for them, which causes them this problem, which is worth this much. You put all that together, you have what it's costing them, and then you can put a price on how much to charge for people. Hope that helps. My name is Keith. This, of course, is the Startup Sales Mastery video podcast where we help all you early stage tech entrepreneurs just by giving you the insights that we know, that we've spent years and years developing. Good luck. If you are looking for a sales team, lead generation team, by all means, get in touch. That's kind of what we do. And if you just want to get inside my mind and see how I actually put together a campaign, the links up below, wherever they are, startupsalesmastery.com. And I give away the first 30-minute video for free just so that you can see exactly what it is you are getting. Good luck and go make some money. Take it easy. I'll see you all later on tonight. Technically, it's next week because this is supposed to be Friday, but I'll see you for the next session all this week or next week, whatever we want to call it. I am just doing sales campaigns and I'm just going to go live and say, okay, look at me go. Let's do it. Take care.